The Podcasting Dead is available on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Make sure to subscribe for more podcasts. And while you're at it, drop us a like. If you want to help support the channel and have access to extra content, secret contests, and more, make sure to search for us on Patreon. Patreon.com/thepodcastingdead.
It's Monday, which now Dead. If you're new to the channel, please be sure to check it out. We have all kinds of cool Walking Dead content. We cover all of the Walking Dead shows, the good ones and even the really boring ones. We're looking at you, World Beyond. Ugh. But we also do this What If series, which is where we answer your questions, where we just ponder what if. So, be sure to check out the channel. Maybe give us a subscribe. If nothing else, give this video a like. It helps us out a ton. But I say video. Some of you might be listening on SoundCloud or Spotify. So give this podcast a like. It helps us out a ton. And JP, you're starting us out. You got some what ifs over there?
Yeah, man. And one cool comment just to kick us off with, Ashley O'Neill says the Negan episode is in the 6 extra episodes, and we get that February 28th.
Yes, we are. That's actually, I'm glad you brought that up, because we've had a lot of listeners let us know last week. And if you're not subscribed to the Patreon, number one, you should be. But number two, you get a lot of behind the scenes, what's going on with us and all of that. So I announced it on the Patreon, but I guess I haven't announced it here. But I'm in the middle of a job transition in which I will be still doing radio, but I'll be doing something else full-time, and radio will take a part-time role. JP here is getting himself a nice little promotion, and we will continue podcasting as normal. But the reason why we haven't gotten to it yet is just because the last few weeks and the coming weeks are going to be really busy with transitioning and transferring and all of that. So bear with us if we're not as on top of the Walking Dead game as we should be. But I've been meaning to put together a little podcast about some of the info that's been released. They've got, from what I've read, they've given like the titles to each episode. Okay. They've given the description, the synopsis of each episode. So I definitely at some point this week we will be talking about that. I know we're a little late to the party, but we'll definitely have something covering that as we move into the week.
All right, so good stuff on the way. This next one, what if from UV? What if Jeffrey Grimes, that's Rick's brother, was one of the commanders at the CRM and found his brother Rick there and asked him how Shane, Carl, and Lori were doing? How would Rick even respond to that? Yikes.
They ain't doing. They're dead.
Yeah, that'd be a little awkward for sure.
Can you imagine him telling the story? Well, long story short, Shane was banging Lori, so I killed him. And then Lori got pregnant with Shane's baby, but I decided to raise it since I'd killed its dad and all. Then Lori gave birth in the prison, but died because we didn't have the proper anesthesia and things she needed. And then Carl went to help some guy honor his mom and got bit by a walker, and now he's dead. And now it's just me and Shane's daughter. Which I don't think Rick would make it to the CRM. I mean, maybe he will, but being he's out the show, I feel like it's going to be like Daryl taking point on that.
Yeah, could be.
That would be an awkward conversation, though. It'd be like, well, everything that everyone you tried to save is pretty much dead. I don't know how well I'm struggling to say that.
Yeah, but he could tell her, look, I'm now married to Michonne. She's way hotter than Lori ever was.
And far more badass.
Yeah, we've got we've got some kids. So
Well, he doesn't know about RJ yet.
Yeah, he doesn't know about RJ, does he?
No, but if Rick got to the CRM, and that would be cool. But have they even mentioned his brother in the show? I mean, I know in the comics, Lori references Rick being older than her, and she met Rick through his brother. But I mean, have we heard them mention his brother in the show?
Not to my knowledge, but maybe. There's been so much, I forget some stuff. But let's see. Let's move on to James Gallegos. What if Sasha's plan in the coffin worked? She actually bit Negan. How would that have changed the war from that point?
Oh man, that would have been interesting. The war would have pretty much been over at the end of season 7.
Yeah.
Which the war should have been over at the end of season 7, to be honest with you. Instead, they drug it out for another whole season. That's like my only beef with the Negan saga is I love Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Negan, and there were some really cool moments, but we've said it plenty of times, it just was drug out far too long. But if she would have bit Negan, that would have been really interesting. I mean, I mean, you got to think what all ensued after that. We would have never had Simon's attempted coup d'etat. We'd have never had. But then again, I don't know if Negan's gone. I mean, we'll think. Well, you got to think of that's like a loaded question, because think of the butterfly effect of that. Think of all the things that wouldn't have happened. I was going to say, well, if Negan weren't around, what about Judith? She would have died in the snowstorm. But then again, Rick probably wouldn't be gone if Negan had got bitten and died. Because think about it, the only reason Rick is gone is because Maggie desperately wanted to kill Negan. So Daryl, douchebag Daryl at that point, as I like to call him, led Rick away. And you know what I'm saying? So if Negan was already dead, there would have been no beef between Maggie and Rick, in the sense of Maggie would have had justice. Negan died. So Rick would probably still be around. Simon may have tried to take over the rest of the Saviors, but I think Simon would be way easier to defeat than Negan. Simon's not that cunning. I think we said it on the last Walking Dead What If, that Simon would be way easier to go to war with than Negan, because Simon's just show up, rain bullets, and hope you win, whereas Negan is a lot more strategic in his planning and predicting behavior and things like that. I mean, it's a lot. Like I said, I don't think Rick would be gone, because there wouldn't have been this plot to distract him while Maggie killed Negan, which she didn't do, and then we lost Rick. So Rick would still be there. I don't know, man. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the show would have been a lot better off. Definitely no one would have seen it coming.
No, I'm glad they didn't take Negan out, because right now Negan in the current seasons has some of my favorite the best screen time, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. But with that said, there is a lot that would have changed. The war would have ended a lot sooner. Would Eugene have been accepted back into the group? Because Eugene wasn't accepted back into the group. At that point, Rick was going to blow him up.
Yeah, they were ready to take him out.
Like right then, Rick was going to kill him. Rosita was going to blow him up along with all the Saviors. And so at that point, there was no love for Eugene. So if Negan would have died at that moment, Eugene would have never had his chance to prove himself and save the group, which means Eugene might have been a prisoner of war. Yeah,
he probably would have been. I wonder who would have, I guess somebody, unless they just killed them all, would have still had to lead the sanctuary, and, who would have kept that community going.
Yeah, but, Eugene, I don't think would have been allowed to go back to the sanctuary. I mean, he was a straight-up traitor. You know what I mean? They understood that some of these people were just basically under Negan's, thumb and didn't have a choice in the matter. But, Eugene chose to, he got captured, but then he proceeded to just become very despicable for a while. So, Eugene would be up the creek.
Yeah, man, he'd be a man with no country.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that would suck for him.
And we know he couldn't live on the run.
Nah, he would have to find somebody to mooch off of.
So, long story short, Rick would probably still be around, and Eugene would essentially be homeless.
Yeah, I think that might be funny, man, to just see him latch on to another, military dude and convince him he's a scientist and he's on some mission,
All over again.
Yeah, just right back where they started.
But great question.
Yeah, that is a good one. Oh, man, I just popped my jaw in a weird way, and it hurts something
I do
awful.
that,
Have you
dude.
ever done that?
Yeah, that sucks, man. I've done that plenty of times.
Wow.
I hate it.
Wow. But on to the next one. Let's see. King of the Trash People. What if the comic moment between Rick and Dwight is now going to be King Ezekiel and Father G? The king has lost the community he built so he would see how important the Commonwealth is, and Father G has lost his faith so he will see the sins of Pamela as a threat or false idol.
Oh, so we're thinking that Ezekiel will kill Father Gabriel.
Yeah, put one right in his noggin.
That would be... On one hand, that would be very powerful stuff, but at the same time, I don't know that it would have the same effect as Rick and Dwight in the comics. I think you really got to find two star, you know what I mean? It has to be something it's got to be like Daryl and Negan, I really think Daryl and Negan would be the route to take, because I think that, Negan kind of, it would just show that Negan truly has seen the error of his ways. And he's like, you think I don't know about this? This is what I did.
Right.
Just on a bigger scale. There's no way I'm going to sit back and let you do, blah, blah, blah. And then Daryl essentially, it's tragic, because Daryl has to put down someone who is actually showing that they've learned the error of their ways. And, blah blah blah. I just if they go the Ezekiel Father Gabriel route, that's fine, but. And I will still be sad because I've said plenty of times, I like Father Gabriel now. I mean, he started off as a character I cared nothing about, even in season 5 when he was being a little rat bastard. Did not care for him. And they really have successfully turned his character around. I still maintain he should have died on that air quotes season 10 finale. I say that because it's not really a finale when we get 6 more episodes. But that would have brought his story to a great close, just in the sense of he went from coward to going down like a true warrior. But I don't know. How do you feel about it?
Oh man, it would be all I can think about now is my sore jaw. I'm sorry.
I've done it.
Lost focus, man.
I've done it before, and you're like, did I just break my jaw?
Yeah,
I've been there.
Jeez Louise. Father G and Ezekiel. I honestly completely forgot who was going up against each other. Yeah, it wouldn't be as impactful. It would be interesting for sure. I think especially if they spent this last season kind of building more of a dynamic between those two characters. But yeah, man. I mean, I don't think that Father Gabriel would want to, but.
Yeah, well,
I mean, Ezekiel,
yeah,
the one shooting him, yeah.
And plus, Ezekiel and Father Gabriel don't have a relationship that it's not the same as Rick and Dwight.
Right.
Again, Rick and Dwight, somewhat started off as enemies and then became allies, even though they were on different sides. And leading up to this, there was some tension between Rick and Dwight because of an incident with Sherry.
Yeah.
That had happened a little bit before we got into the CRM or the Commonwealth. I keep saying CRM, the Commonwealth, but which makes me think I had a brain fart, total brain fart. That person said, "What if Rick's brother is at the CRM, not at the Commonwealth?" So,
right. Damn,
I'm sorry. Hopefully, you didn't tune out and go, "These guys are idiots," and didn't even pay attention to my question. We're going to circle back to that original question here in just a second because it's Monday, man. Bear with me. It's a lot going on. But Rick and Dwight, I feel like the best way to translate that from page to screen with what we have left would be Daryl and Negan. You got to find two people that have been at odds, that kind of have come to a mutual respect for each other, but then, because you know what I'm saying, I don't see Father Gabriel and Ezekiel having that relationship. They're not that tight as it is.
No, they're not.
So it wouldn't be as sad, as someone like Daryl having to kill Negan, or Daryl having to kill Carol, vice versa, yada yada yada. I mean, I really feel like I don't want it to be Negan. But what other? Do we have any other? We don't really. Do we have any other saviors left? I mean, help me think here. I mean, Laura's dead. Yeah. Beta busted her skull against the floor. He busted her skull. I know that. Laura's dead. What other saviors do we have left?
I can't really think anyone.
So, I mean, really, it's, but circling back to that first question, because I had a complete brain fart and was thinking the Commonwealth. So hopefully, who asked that question?
Give me a second.
It sounds like you're getting ready to do some kind of seance.
Maybe I will. Maybe I won't.
It's Monday.
It was UV.
UV. So sorry about that. Sorry that I completely spaced on that one. I don't think either one of us were as focused. It usually takes us. We almost need to do a practice podcast before we launch into the real one. But the CRM would be interesting because the CRM is straight up pretty much evil. I mean, they think they're doing good, but it seems like they're essentially evil. So for Rick's brother to be there, that would be a strange twist, and it would suck because poor Rick, it's been like 8-9 years into the apocalypse, and you hadn't seen your brother in almost a decade, and when you do find him, he's on the wrong side.
Yeah, man, it'd be like a Civil War kind of thing, brother against brother.
I'm interested to see if the movies don't try to do something stupid, like have Rick join and accept what the CRM does.
No, dude, I can't imagine.
He's a lieutenant or something in their army, and he's just okay with what they're doing. That would just dismantle everything that made Rick Rick.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I can see him doing along those lines is just the promise that they would let him go back to his family, or that they would leave Alexandria alone. Maybe, they're like, look, you can either join us or we're going to go just, mow down your whole little colony there. That's
genius. So that would be a great way to explain why Rick hasn't made it back yet, because we've all said, Of course, Scott Gimple has to go, and I don't know why they do this. Be like, there's going to be 3 movies, and Rick's going to survive all 3. Why do you tell us that? Then anytime Rick's in a pinch, we're like, well, we already know he lives, so.
Yeah.
But that's what he had said. Now, because of COVID, I don't know if they're still doing a trilogy or maybe just going to do the one and see how it goes and go from there. But either way, it's safe to say Rick will survive this movie. That would be a great way to explain it. Like, perhaps the CRM does, recruit Rick to do some things for them. They realize his capabilities, but they let him know, like, and we know that you have some civilizations near where we picked you up. We know about Alexandria. We know about the Hilltop, which the Hilltop's not really a thing right now. But we know about all of your little communities. And here's the deal. We will stay away from them if you continue to work for us. Mm-hmm. But you can't go back. Blah, blah, blah. Like that would be an easy way to explain, because we've said plenty of times, I'm anxious to see how they're going to play Rick being away for so long, because there's no way Rick Grimes would not try to get back to his family. Mm-hmm. So if they were to, proposition that, like, hey, here are our numbers, and Rick would know, like, there's no way if they decided they wanted to, take on Alexandria, there's no way my people could take them. These folks still have, guns. We're fighting with spears and axes and stuff. We've bullets are so. Which when Rick left, I guess they did still have more guns, but they had started going more to handheld weapons, and So I think that would be. I don't know. I kind of hope they go that route.
It would be interesting, man, and just think. I mean, Rick would have to hold a lot of value for them to, leave that whole little community alone just to have him, doing whatever they want him doing. I
think it would be awesome if they had started showing kind of the way they did with, I guess, Jadis, where we saw the feet watching people, is that so you would see somebody's feet and know that our characters were being watched by someone. We didn't know who it was. Be dope if they did that again, because we know Rick don't have his boots anymore. Mm-mm. So, because Michonne found and sniffed the hell out of them things.
Yeah.
Grimes, foot fungus. But how cool would it be to see somebody stepping up periodically throughout the next few episodes or season, and then you find out that even though Rick hadn't been able to contact them because he knows he puts them in danger if he does that, he has been watching. You know what I mean? Periodically he makes his way there and just kind of checks in a way. Something like that would be. I would love if they could somehow. And we know they can do this. If they could somehow go back and show us things. I mean, it'd be cool to see Rick standing outside a hilltop in the woods, with some CRM folks kind of watching the whole Daryl and Alpha thing and wanting to step in, and one of them puts their hands on their shoulders and it's like, what'll happen if you intervene, right. Type deal. I mean, I don't think they'll go that route, but that would be so cool.
Definitely a top-notch scenario there, UV. And dude, here's a great comment from World War Hulk. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, great. Thank y'all so much for answering my Q&A question. Tell me when I can do another Q&A question, because I have a lot more. Y'all are my favorite Walking Dead channel / YouTuber now.
Really?
Isn't that cool, man?
That is really cool, because there are a ton of really great YouTube channels devoted to The Walking Dead. I mean, you've got... what is it? You got George Drake. You've got the PT channel, which that guy is Trevor, I think, is his name. He's cool, but he had something recently to come out with his girlfriend on the stream with him, and I don't know if they came out and said that was a joke or not, but that I hadn't really watched it since because it was awkward.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's so many great Movie Idol. There's a lot of, what is it? Make a Path Presents. You've got The Walking Dead Explained. There's lots of really, really good content creators out there. So for you to say we're your favorite when we pretty much just get on here and wing it every week, it means a lot.
Yeah, and World War Hulk, send us those questions anytime, any place, anywhere. We get to them as best we can. This is definitely the best place to leave them. But yeah, anytime.
I think our friend Stefan had asked last week where would be the best place to leave the what ifs, and that we do try to check other videos, but when we put out 3 or 4 a week, sometimes it's very possible that we'll accidentally miss your question. But if you leave them on each Walking Dead what if podcast, we that's the first place we always check. It's guaranteed to get answered if it's there.
Yeah. So big love, World War Hulk. Now this comment from Nick Cage, I remember.
Wait a minute, World War Hulk and Nick Cage.
Well, Nick Cage is the next one.
Man.
Yeah, we've got some big,
Wow.
some big followers on here.
Yeah. I mean, I know I'm not thinking Nick Fury, but Nick Cage, that name rings some kind of famous bell, right?
Well, Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Is that what I'm thinking about? I mean, I know Nick Fury is the Marvel, but I'm like Nick Cage is sticking out. So anyways, sorry to interrupt you, but I'm just like, man, we got all the big hitters coming out.
Nick Cage would have played a good Nick Fury. He was a good Ghost Rider, but he would have been better as Nick Fury. But anyway, all that aside, now I remember I kind of know what he's talking about, but I'm going to get you to clarify perhaps where this is going. And Nick Cage says that's crazy how Rick knew about Nebraska in season 2. Now is Nebraska where they've been in World Beyond? Because I remember him talking and telling the dude in the bar that was going to kill him, I hear there's, people in...
No, well, what happened was, no. Didn't, well, the way he knew about Nebraska was because that guy, Dave, because you had, what was it, Dave and Tony was the bigger one?
Yes.
Eat me. Yeah, Dave was the smaller guy. Tony was the bigger guy. And I thought Dave had mentioned something about, Nebraska or whatever. Like he previously talking about how they don't, what do they call it? They don't call them flyover states for nothing. Basically talking about how there's nothing out there.
Yeah.
And, I thought that he mentioned that. And then that's why he kind of snickered and Rick fired back when he was like, where do you suggest we go? Because they wouldn't let him come back with them to the farm. And he's like, I don't know. I hear Nebraska's nice. That was him playing off of what Dave had already said, kind of throwing that back at him. I thought. I'll have to go back and rewatch it to be sure, but we can check back in on that.
So do you think those guys may have been tied into CRM, that group that they were trying to keep away from the farm?
No, I think they were just two random douchebags in a group of other douchebags.
And you were glad to see them go?
Well, Tony, yeah. The Tony guy was... I didn't like him at all. But Dave, I kind of hated to see go because he could have been... He was actually a really interesting character. I mean, for what little bit of screen time he had, I found Dave to be pretty interesting. He was charismatic. I liked the actor's, portrayal of him. I liked him. I kind of wish Rick would have just shot Tony. Tony's the one that's like, you got any coos? I ain't gotten a piece of coos in weeks. And then he starts peeing in the corner of the bar, and then he's like, I'll shoot you assholes and take your farm. I didn't like him. I was glad to see Rick put, 3 in him. But Dave, I would have liked to have seen been taken like prisoner of war or something. Dave could have had a really cool story arc.
Yeah.
Eat me, Dave. That skinny bastard's Tony. What did he say? That skinny fella's Tony.
Yeah,
Eat me, Dave.
Now that was a good episode.
Maybe one day, my friend. Yeah, no, that episode ended with a song by a band I really like called Clutch, and the song was called, I think it's called The Regulator. I hear those. It's a really, really dope song, but as soon as I heard the guy's voice, I was like, oh, that's Clutch. I love that band. They sang the song that was used for the Left 4 Dead trailer. I think it was Left 4 Dead 2, the bang, 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 dun, 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 you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Vamonos. So when I heard that, I was like, oh, The Walking Dead, I'll give them one thing. They usually have really good music selections.
Yeah, they do. We're going back around to Stefan Miller. What if Shane went on the supply run to save Carl with Glenn instead of Otis? Would he have sacrificed Glenn like he did Otis in order to save Carl's life?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, absolutely. I think it might have, weighed on him a little bit heavier because to him, Otis was just some dude he barely knew that had, shot Carl. So, I mean, I think it was easier for him. But I think if it came down between Glenn and Carl, absolutely. Shane didn't do anything prior to that showed he had some deep connection with Glenn.
Yeah.
Shane had been with Glenn for a while, and it seemed out the gate, Rick just joining their group had a better connection to Glenn than Shane did. I mean, there's plenty of times we've seen Shane kind of talk down to Glenn. So, yeah, without a doubt, he would have done it. Now, he might have felt a little bit more guilt about it because he already felt guilt about Otis, but I feel like killing Glenn might have really gotten to him a little bit more. But in the heat of the moment, oh, absolutely.
I still don't think it was absolutely necessary to kill Otis. Those walkers,
those zombies were so slow.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he could have had time to go back, help him up. And I mean, I really feel like he just wanted to watch Otis get ripped apart.
I mean, it could have kind of been payback for shooting Carl. You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
guess.
I mean, like, I get it. They were both hurt and they're kind of limping, but you were staying well ahead of these zombies. These are not 28 days. I mean, I could totally see for like 28 days later zombies having to put someone down to save your own skin because these bastards run fast. these walkers were going slow as hell, and I mean they were staying paced ahead of them. Part of me thinks that just Shane wanted to do it, but you know I'm with you. I don't think it was totally necessary.
No, man. I mean, I think they would have had ample time to escape.
That'd be like me and you sitting here, and it's like a zombie comes to the door, and it's like, oh, one of them's outside. Bam!
Yeah.
What the hell? It ain't even inside yet.
I'm getting the hell out of here. Oh, jeez. But, yeah, good old season 2.
But, yeah, I love, man, I find it so crazy that everybody points to season 2 being like one of the most, you know, like one of the weaker seasons of the show. And I'm like, season 2 is where I fell in love with the show. Loved season 1, but season 2, for any slowness it might have had, was still incredible.
Oh, man, UV's got another good one. Back in season 3, when Rick was hallucinating, talking to the lady on the phone in the prison, what if that wasn't a hallucination and was a CRM member speaking to Rick on the phone? Can you imagine? I mean, that could have changed the whole trajectory.
If it was CRM instead of a hallucination?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, we know it was a hallucination. Because the voices we heard Jim's voice, we heard Lori's voice. We heard, who else? We heard Andrea's sister.
Jim might have been faking it.
I'm pretty sure that was a figment. I mean, on top of that, the phone wasn't plugged in. I don't think the CRM has magic powers to.
It could have been a satellite.
And to establish contact with Rick that long ago. It just didn't. No, it was totally in his head. But it would be wild. I mean, if that would have been a really long time to drag out the CRM, though. Like, we're going to show you a little bit of them in season 3, and then we're not going to touch back on it until season 10. But hey, you don't mind waiting 7 seasons to get the answer to that question, do you?
No, not me. Now, did you watch Prison Break? I never watched it. I remember it, but I never. So I guess there won't be any. What if you swap T-Dog for T-Bag? I never watched that show.
Who's T-Bag?
I don't know. It was the actor who played T-Dog in Prison Break. I think I've heard that, right?
I thought Lori was.
Lori? I don't know.
Let's look up the cast. Let's look up Prison Break cast. I know that Captain Cold was in it.
Oh, from The Flash?
Yeah.
Oh, shucks.
What's his name? He played Chris Redfield, and he's a great actor, but he just was not right for Chris Redfield. He did great for what he had, but Michael. No, wait. All right. So let's see. Cast. Let's go. Prison Break cast. Yeah, I never. My roommate back in the day was addicted to that show. Wentworth Miller. That's the guy that plays Captain Cold, and also plays. Yeah, he's a great actor. I like him. Let's see. T-Bag. Where's T-Bag? Yeah. Sarah Wayne Callies, who plays Lori, also played Dr. Sarah, name I can't pronounce. Okay. Robert. Okay. Wow. No, that's not T-Dog.
No.
He looks considerably older.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know his character. He could be a badass, but he looks a little bit older than T-Dog.
Here's one from Stefan. What if the Fear the Walking Dead crew, Madison, Alicia, Morgan, Nick, Troy, Daniel, John, Dory, and etc., have met with the Whisperers and Alpha/Beta? How would they have dealt with them? Side note, it's crazy how I always see Madison, Nick, and Troy as main Fear the Walking Dead people, even though they've been dead, just because they left such an impact, and Season 3 is imprinted as the highlight of the show with Season 6.
So the question is basically, how would they have handled the Whisperers?
Yeah, I mean, you've got the cream of the crop, at which Victor Strand is notoriously absent from this list. I'm not sure, why that is, Stefan. I'm very upset.
Because Victor Strand. Well, Victor Strand probably could have swayed Alpha. He's very manipulative. I just imagine the point where she gets naked, he goes, "Oh, good Lord. This might be an awkward time to tell you, but, I'm not attracted. I don't typically go for women. Most definitely not the, unwashed and you kind. Dear God, take the mask off. Okay, God, put it back on. I can maybe make myself do this if you put your clothes back on. I just imagine Victor Strand in the role of Negan and, Alpha. Because, you don't try not to judge a book by its cover. So, you can't meet someone and say, oh, they don't act gay, because gay isn't, necessarily a way you act. It's who you are. So I totally get that. But I imagine, she's just assuming he's a straight male. Yeah. And then it's like she goes, This speaks to your more primitive urges. And he turns around. He's like, oh, good Lord. Alpha, look, you're something, but I would be more interested in Beta. Could you get him to come out here and just redo everything you've done? Oh, man. But so they left Victor Strand out when I think Victor Strand would have been their best chance of manipulating Alpha.
Absolutely.
You left out probably the biggest key player there. JP's so aghast, he just dropped his phone.
I threw it to the floor. I'm bewildered.
I throw it on the ground. But no, so Nat, give me the lineup again. Who do we have going up against the Whisperers?
We have got Madison, Alicia, Morgan, Nick, Troy, Daniel, John Dory. So you have got, and I guess you could say for this, you could say it is Cowboy Morgan, if you so choose.
Cowboy Morgan. I can lasso now. These Whisperers ain't nothing for me.
Yeah, and you got a big old axe, too.
Come on to the dam. Oh, all right. So with that lineup, I think John Dory would just quick draw them all to death.
Yeah, man, I think they definitely have a good shot with John Dory, especially if he's armed to the teeth. Daniel, if he got a hold to one of those Whisperers, I definitely think they would cough up whatever he wanted to know. If Gamma came into the camp, man, Daniel would have her, saying anything.
Listen, that lady got naked. Oh, you said Daniel. Sorry, I was thinking Strand. That lady took me in the woods and she got naked.
Ugh.
I didn't like it.
I don't think any of us would.
But, gosh, I mean, I think they stand a chance.
I do too, man. I think
you've got to, you pick the best of the best minus Strand. What Strand lacks in combat, which I think Strand is underestimated in his combat abilities. I mean,
yeah, dude.
But you left out. I think Strand would be the great. I would just turn Strand loose to play the Negan role. Like, go be a traitor. Get her guard down and take her out. But I mean, you've got Troy would be awesome if he didn't lose his cool. But Troy kind of has a temper. But Troy would have been a good weapon again. I want to go back. I'm going to go back and watch season 3 soon, man.
Dude, it was so good.
Troy would have been a good weapon to have. Daniel. It's just a beast. I mean, it just depends. I mean, are they now in Alexandria, or have the Whisperers made their way to them, you think?
Yeah, I think it's like the Whisperers have migrated for their summer excursion,
Okay.
And they run across the group, and I don't know, maybe their locality is the like the dam they blew. Maybe they didn't have to blow it up or something. I don't know what the circumstances are.
Yeah,
but I think they'd have. I think they would deal with them even better than the main Walking Dead crew did.
You think they would do better than the main crew?
Yeah, dude, I think the Fear group, like in their prime, before everything got so awful. If you just took the cream of the crop, I think they stand better chances of surviving any situation, even going head to head with the Walking Dead crew.
Oh wow!
And now, like I said, this is like a dream team. You still got Nick, you got Cowboy Morgan, not Peacenik Morgan, Victor Strand, obviously. Madison's still alive.
Madison's smart. Madison and Alpha would have been a cool head-to-head. Like, seeing those two have a battle of wits type deal. You know what I mean?
Dude. I think Madison could take on Alpha and come out on top. I think if Madison took on Carol, she'd come out on top.
Really?
To be quite frank, yeah.
I like I said, man, it's crazy the amount of hate that Madison gets sometimes, because I really did like her character. She was strong. She was able. She was. She had enough coldness in her to do what needed to be done at times, but she also had enough of herself left to, you know what I'm saying? Like, she wasn't like full crazy Rick or Shane, but she could be if she needed to be, just in the sense of, if like what she did with Troy. Even though I hated to see Troy go, she just took a hammer and smacked the back of his skull. So Madison, I think, would be great to go head to head with Alpha, just in the sense of like battle of wits, strong leader types. I I think Nick and Troy, the only problem is with all the extra walkers around, they probably would have just been too busy tripping on pineal glands or whatever gland. What were they taking? It wasn't pineal gland.
No, it was just like the brain stem. It was like the adrenochrome, the adrenaline out of the brain. I think it was just getting the brain stem.
You think they would have been like, we need to power up like a Dragon Ball Z. We must power up to take this horde. And it's like, they eat the adrenal glands. Just start tripping balls running through there. I think Nick would die, but it'd be cool. You could set up such a cool death, like Nick and Troy are like out in the woods or doing something and tripping on the adrenal glands, and they hear the whisperers talking, and they think it's because they're tripping, and they're like, they're talking now, blah, blah. And then they die, just, and it's, or, they get stabbed. They end up dying, but they make it back in time to tell them, like, the walkers are talking now, and everybody thinks they're crazy, and then, they die out, or one of them die, something.
Right.
I don't know. That could have been really cool. Yeah, I think that they would still come out on top.
Yeah. If you remember Hunter S. Thompson in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, he was tripping on adrenaline that was procured from a human brain.
Yeah.
So that's real, man. I'd love to. That'd be great for the Patreon.
Could you do that?
Get some adrenaline.
Could you really do that though? Eat something that had been take something that had been in another human being.
Yeah, it can be procured.
I mean, wouldn't that be some kind of subpar cannibalism?
I mean, I don't know the legality of it, if that's what you're asking.
But are you comfortable with cannibalism?
Well, I mean, I'm comfortable with taking that substance that's been procured. I'm not eating a whole brain stem. I don't know.
I mean, but maybe still, you're still ingesting something that came from another human. I couldn't do it, man.
I was gonna say we can go down a whole weird road with this as far as substances from other people ending up in your body. I mean,
look. What happens in the bedroom stays in the bedroom. Right. But yeah, I don't think I could do that, man. I don't think I could. You can do it, and you can let me know.
Well, if anybody has a hookup on adrenaline, just don't let us know. On second thought, Stefan Miller, man, let's get into some fun stuff. Not which these have all been fun, but let's see. Justin Sandor Clegane and Merle Dixon versus JP Gregor Clegane and Daniel Salazar.
All right, wait a minute.
Remind me which one.
You know what? Should we just beat the hell out of each other and make Stefan Miller happy? I think Stefan wants to see us go at it. So I've got the mountain, right?
Yeah, I was getting ready to ask which is which. I forgot.
Gregor Clegane is the hound. So I've got the mountain, who we know the hound really can't take. I mean, he technically couldn't. Wait, is he zombified though?
That's a good question.
Because zombified mountain can take swords to the dome and keep going. Yeah. So, I don't know. But I've got Merle, and I think Daniel could take Merle.
You think he could?
I think he could take Merle with weapons. I mean, Daniel is a nifty guy with the fisticuffs too, but I think that fist to fist, Merle might take him. I don't know, man. I might actually come out on top with this one. And don't forget that Gregor Clegane, even though he always hated and wanted to kill his brother, still had a fear of his brother. And I mean, if going into a fight, having fear, that's why boxers do things like intimidating stare downs. And intimidating your opponent can ensure your victory, because they're not going to go at you the way someone who doesn't fear you will. You know what I'm saying? They're always going to be. So him having that fear over the hound might, I like to think the mountain probably would take the hound at that point.
It's one of those age-old questions, man. It's hard to say. Remember when the Knight of the Roses knocked him off in that joust, and the Gregor came out,
chopped his horse's head off.
Yeah, but he saved the knight, and
he just kind of blocked the sword,
and he was ready to go. But
yeah, he
thank
was.
Goodness, the king was like, "Stop this nonsense!
Stop this madness!"
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, even still, he stopped the sword, but that don't mean the deep-seated fear he has of the mountain wouldn't come back to bite him if they actually got into tussling. You know what I mean?
We never really got that showdown that I really wanted to see and you really wanted to see. I mean, yeah, at the end they did go at it, but like you said, one was a zombie.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen them actually battle it out in the flesh, which it was a great fight. I mean, the Hound is one of my favorite characters, period, from Game of Thrones.
Gosh,
just such a great character from start to finish. He's despicable, and you hate him. And at the end, he's still pretty despicable, but you learn to love him, and you learn there's more to him then that's what I love about Game of Thrones. Hell, the brawl, what do they call it, Clegane Bowl? That's one of the best parts of the last season. Watching them two fight it out. I just wish one wasn't a zombie.
Yeah.
But no, I think this is the best chance I've had of winning so far since Stefan Miller just started deciding to give me. What did he give me one time? He gave me Tyrion one time. He gave me Tyrion, and so I appreciate you even in the playing field there, Stefan. That's one of those I'm going to call it at a draw because I really don't know who would win. That's a really close throwdown.
Well, this next one is wild, even wilder. Justin, Rick, and Hank Pym from
That is I mean, is this young Hank Pym or is he like Michael Douglas old man Hank Pym?
Well, I don't know if he has the suit. I don't know if he has the suit. I'm not sure.
I mean, if he don't have the Pym particles, he's useless. It's like, get out the way, old man.
And on my team, I have Merle and Walter White. So.
Oh, well, hell, that you know what? Good job, Stefan. I like the way you're Walter White. I mean, Walter White's not a fighter. I mean, he'll run somebody over with his Aztec or shoot somebody, but when it comes time to straight up brawl, I mean, hey.
Walter White's kind of like Batman. If he has time to prepare,
right, he'll tear you up. Right.
So it really comes down to if he has that prep time.
Right. AKA thinking about like the Gus death.
And if Hank Pym has a suit, he could kill any of us.
Hank Pym's a genius. So you basically, they even each other out, and then you've got Merle and I've got Rick. Oh, Rick would take Merle pretty easily, I feel.
Well, he did, leave him up on that roof.
Right. So I'm going to say Team Justin on that one. I mean, like Walter White has time to prepare and he's smart, but Hank Pym is a legitimate genius. And if they both have time to prepare, I don't think that Walter White's genius is comparable in any way to Hank Pym. So if they have time to plan, I mean, they'll take a few steps and Hank Pym will just like drop a building on them.
I was going to say,
it'll be over.
Hank Pym, if he's got all his gadgetry, then yeah.
But I mean, if we're talking Walter White with no planning time, no weapons, just two older fellas in the middle of the field beating the hell out of each other, I would get, Heisenberg is bigger, I think, than Michael Douglas. I mean, I'm just going by the on-screen adaptation. So, I mean, I think that fist to fist, I do think that Walter White would kill Hank Pym if there was no planning. And then I think fist to fist, Rick would kill Merle, especially if he, if I could lie to him before the fight and be like, Rick, Merle's got your boy. And he says that after he kills us, he's going to kill your boy. Rick would just be like, no.
Now,
and then you and me, I mean, we've been over that scenario plenty of times.
I think if it was Mike Ehrmantraut versus Hank Pym, he would whoop Hank Pym all day long.
Well, I mean, either way in this scenario, Hank Pym's going to get whooped because I think, well, I don't know though. Hank Pym, even though he's not a big guy, he's wore the suit and he's had some combat experience.
He does,
then again, you know what? I take it back. I'm rewinding. Hank Pym's, we Team Justin all the way. We got that.
Well,
you finally done met your match, JP.
No. Let's look at this one. Justin, Jamie Lannister, and Beta versus me, Ned Stark, and Abraham.
That's not fair.
No, that's. I mean, Jamie was the better swordsman than Ned.
Jamie was. No, you're right. I think I got that one too because we know Jamie can best Ned with the sword. Which then again, Ned had to fight a bunch of people before he fought Jamie too. It's not, but Jamie did have the reputation of being a great swordsman. So I think it's safe to say Jamie had an edge on Ned when it came to the sword work, and Ned was older.
And he's a more honorable man.
Right.
When you're going to fight with honor, then you're going to be at a disadvantage.
Yeah. So I think Jamie would beat Ned. Beta versus Abraham would be awesome. I want to say I think Beta would beat Abraham, but then again, if Daryl beat Beta, I think there's a chance Abraham could beat Beta.
I think Abraham would take him, man. I think with his combat training, he would get close, get him on the ground, and I think once he got him on the ground, it'd be over.
Game over. Yeah, I think Team JP on that one, maybe.
Yeah, that would be a close one.
But Stefan, good job, man. You really are evening these out, and I appreciate it. Because for a while there, I was certain that you wanted to see me die. That's a pretty even match. Like I said, Abraham versus Beta, that's a close call. It's all circumstantial. And then I think we agree that who were the other two in this one?
Sorry, I scrolled away.
You're fine. So we had Beta versus Abraham, me versus you, and who are the
Ned
other?
Stark versus Jamie.
And we think Jamie would beat Ned. So that would be close.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I'd kill you. So we've got two definite victories. I just don't know if if Abraham would be able to carry your team?
I would use Abraham's mustache to my advantage, and you would never see it coming. I'd get him to, as you were going in for the death blow, he'd tickle the back of your neck with his mustache, and that'd be all I needed.
Oh, man.
That'd be all the window I needed. See, it's about using the team. It's about a team effort, you know.
I would just ride Beta's shoulders and be like, charge!
Yeah.
We got time for one more before we wrap up today's podcast. So, JP, throw something at us.
All right. Let's see.
Thought you were going a little Tim the Toolman Taylor there.
No, I'm not that crazy. I'm crazy. I ain't that crazy, though. Gosh, such an embarrassment of riches we have. Stefan's got so many great ones. Do you want another versus? He's got a couple more of those.
I tell you what, let's do this. Let's do a part 2 to this one.
All right.
Because we're running out on time, but let's do a part 2. So, guys, you're going to get 2 Walking Dead What Ifs this week. We'll just do a part 2 in the next day or two. So just be looking for that, and we'll get to the questions we missed.
Okay.
But throw one more out there. We got time for one more.
All right. Well, let's just end it with
Dealer's
one more
choice.
fun thing. Let's
All
see. Justin, the Governor, Ramsey Bolton, and Beta versus JP, Negan, the Night King, and Alpha.
You got the Night King.
I got the Night King.
I mean, if there's no, what is it, Valerian Steel or Dragon's Glass, I'm screwed.
Yeah, and whoever you kill is just going to become he's still going to be on our team because the Night King will command him. We might be better off if the Night King just kills me and the other two, so we just come back as his undead servants.
Foiled once again by Stefan Miller. I said, there I was thinking we had even shots. I mean, unless we found some Valerian Steel or Dragon's Glass, we'd be absolutely screwed.
Yeah.
I mean, the best thing your team could do is run out and kill each other, and then you rise as undead, unstoppable monsters. And then my team is just, I guess I'd be riding the Governor's shoulders, and we'd be hightailing it out of there. Yeah. Who else was on my team?
You had Ramsey Bolton, the known rapist, and the Governor, who's at least suave.
He's at least molested people.
Yeah. You've got
Why do I have
sex
a team
offenders?
of sex offenders? And who was it? Was Beta on my team still?
And Beta.
Okay,
yeah.
well, no, I'm still going to be riding Beta's shoulders. We're going to trip up the Governor and Ramsey and let you guys have them. Which then again, I don't know if I want to do that because then they would come they would come back as undead molester and sexual predators. So, Stefan, why do you do this to me? JP's clearly the pervy of us two. Why doesn't he get Ramsey and the Governor?
Oh, no.
But, Stefan, I love those. Please keep throwing them at us, and we'll definitely get to the rest of them in round 2 of this. We've got a mouse problem here in the studio, so half of our morning was taken up by a very nice gentleman, but he was here to exterminate the mice, which meant the studio was tied up a little bit. Yeah. So we will get to part 2 maybe tomorrow. We'll try to throw it out no later than Wednesday, but we'll get you a part 2 soon. And, we'll see you soon. Don't forget to check out our Patreon cast. We're having to build home studios now, and I don't know if you know anything about building studios with good sound and quality, but it is not cheap. So every contribution counts, and we appreciate you so much to those already. And again, even $1 a month helps us out a ton because we're almost done setting up my studio. JP still has access to this studio, which I do too, but it won't be feasible for me to get here in the mornings to do these. So we set up my home studio while JP still has a studio to use, and then next we're starting on JP's home studio. So, check that Patreon.
There you go.
But some exciting things in the works. I've been talking to another YouTuber who I'm a big fan of, and we might be doing some collaboration soon. I know we've said that before, and then I kind of had a baby, which put a hold on.
You had a baby?
Last time we were talking about collaborating with a guy whose channel I was a big fan of, and the name of the channel escapes me now, but really well put together channel. Him and I had like an hour-long phone discussion. Totally we're going to do it. Then like 2 days later, my girlfriend gave birth to our daughter, and as you can imagine, that took a while. So this time, some collaborations I do believe are on the way, and I'm pretty stoked. So lots of fun things on the way for the channel. Thank you so much for your love, for your support, and we'll see you soon. I'm Justin.
I'm JP.
And we're the Podcasting Dead.